Warning, this podcast has some swears in it.
I'd rate it PG-13 at most, but let's just be on the safe side and say viewer discretion is advised.
At least one to use.
Oh, are we talking about favorite cards this episode?
No. Next step. No, we do not have time. I don't think you have time for that. I'm not prepared. It was just an idea.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Because you are correct, we don't have time.
Yes, we don't have time, and I couldn't even get it together today, even if I tried.
I only have the 4 that I have because we have been posting about that.
I got something in the brain, and I got a few ideas in the brain. I'm like, what are the cards from this year that I think have been pretty good, and I'm thinking we go through the sets and everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking we all know for me, though, there's going to be the fucking Genji glove and the Smash Bros. Announcer voice, Corey Steelcutter!
To the shock and surprise of no one, it was nothing but equipment.
There's Jaws.
Okay, and that synergizes with artifacts, so we're right back at square one. It all circles right back. It circles right back around.
Listen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you gonna try
because it's a Bludgeon Brawl Voltron deck, I don't want to hear it.
All right. Whatever you say.
It's not entirely knives, I swear. I say, looking at Joshua, one of my other favorite cards this year, who is also an equipment commander for me.
This episode of the Heroes Blade Vibe Check radio show has been brought to you by this description of an MTGO room. Wizards killed fun and turned a casual format into a multi-tier competition. Well, damn, isn't that true? Hey everyone, you're listening to the Heroes Blade Vibe Check radio show. It's Johnny Mardu.
And I'm DJ Space Girl. Let's get into the news.
The fated Agni Kai between Cole and Empress Quinn was foiled again by an unforeseen and undeclared combo by a Saheeli Sun's Radiance deck, and was defeated by as many booby traps copied and created as there are magic cards in existence.
To add insult to injury, a Lantern of Insight was played so everyone could reveal the top to ensure no lands were present. The table collectively scooped.
That's all we have for this week, but a teaser for a future segment. Merfolk. Are they finally good?
We'll see you next time, chat. Listeners. Cut the feed.
Time to raise your blades, heroes.
And check some vibes.
It's the Heroes Blade Vibe Check.
All right, we're on a bit of a bit more of a clock than normal. So let's get right into the episode. AKA, we're still going to talk about some stuff for you quick. Quinn, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks in terms of a video game?
In terms of video game, I don't know if I actually talked about it here, but I did play and finish Final Fantasy II, and then we talked about, gave up on Final Fantasy XII, where we did, and now we are on Final Fantasy X as my main big Final Fantasy that I'm playing right now. But I do have Final Fantasy I and Final Fantasy V that I'm working on in the background.
All right, so in terms of anything, I guess, past 1 and 2, what is the Summoner experience like so far?
Every time they focus on being the summoner and making the game about the summoner, I am locked the fuck in. It is absolutely my shit. I think the Final Fantasies that aren't as strongly about the summoner are not quite as interesting to me.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy X and 9 and 4 have a pretty, the summoner plays a very impactful, plot relevant role. And even if it's not entirely about the summoner like it is in, 4 isn't entirely about the summoner, but she's, very important. And I'm here for the Final Fantasies where the summoner's important, plot-wise.
Plot relevant, yeah. Gotcha. And obviously, like in Ten's case, where it's like main character status go, very obviously you're summoning a bunch of stuff. Like, pretty good.
Yeah, and I just got to the part that is featured on the Final Fantasy bonus sheet printing of Ristic Study. Stay with me. We're not going to complain about that right now. The art of Titus and Yuna in the water, and they're having that impassioned moment where Yuna's like deciding to continue her pilgrimage.
I'm immediately thinking about the meme of the person drowning in the background being like, this ain't about him, but instead it's Titus and it's both of them in front of the drowning person, and they're both like, this ain't about him, this is about us right now.
It is about them right now. The whole, like, that moment actually is really super impactful because Yuna and the party just, like, collectively really went fucking through it. Mm-hmm. And the moment right before that happens, everybody's, like, sitting around and, I guess, like, waiting to take off the next morning, but they're all like, hey, Yuna's over there, you should go talk to her. And you talk to, like, everybody else who's sitting around there, and they're all just like, hey, Yuna's over there, please go talk to her, hint, hint.
Yeah. Was this... Okay, because I'm going on a limb here, and I need to send you something in case the parts happen, but, like, spoiler alert, don't they figure out that, like, what's her name? Yuna. She's, like, half Al-Bhed, or whatever the other group is called.
Yeah.
And then Waka's like, or not Waka, not Tita's like, I gotta tell Waka. It's like, what the fuck were you just told not to do, dude?
He's not very bright.
No, it's a good thing he's cute, I guess. I don't know.
He's cute and he's strong, and he would move heaven and earth for Yuna, and that's basically all that matters.
But I'll have to send you something from Woolly Wools about it, because him and some guys did a playthrough of it, and they were just like, damn, Waka really is just like, he's a
wild racist.
He's a character, and then they just like fully commit to the bit, and I was like, oh my freaking god, like this is hilarious to me.
They
but
made
anyway,
some fucking choices.
yeah. So yeah,
it's very good. The party's just like, hey, I'm shipping here. If you could just go like make my ship canon, please, thank you.
Yeah.
And then you go and do that, and they share that impassioned kiss in the pool, and then they sit on the beach, and Yuna's like, will you stay with me until the end? And Titus is like, no, I'll stay with you always. And Yuna looks back at him and is like, yeah, stay with me, always. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking perfect. It's so good. Final Fantasy is very good. Video games are very good.
I also notice here, because I figured I want to be like, what the heck is going on here? Dissidia... Is it 012 or
no? It's Duodecim. I hate it so much. Final Fantasy, you suck.
Okay, video games are awesome. Final Fantasy, you're on fucking short notice here. Fucking Okay, I'm immediately thinking of like Kingdom Hearts 0.2, a momentary fragmentary passage or whatever the fuck it's called, and I'm like, Tetsuya Nomura, what the fuck is this bullshit? Who is letting you get away with this? Like, what the fuck?
But yeah, this is the Final Fantasy fighting game. It is extremely cool and fun, especially now that I have changed the controls to RPG mode, and I'm basically like issuing commands to a doll, and they are like taking those game actions out, and I don't have to like in real time play a fighting game, because I didn't have a whole lot of fun with that particular control scheme in my first try with that like 10 plus years ago when I was a youth. And this version, I think, was just the one that we played back then was just like regular Dissidia. I don't think they had Duodecim back then. And then, so we've got access to that now. It's got like RPG mode, and I like those controls, and I'm having a good time. All of my Blorbos get to walk around in very pretty 3D rendered models. Kefka is a heavily featured villain here, and he is fucking perfect. There's also Kuja, who gets to be exactly as serving redacted as he is in the PlayStation 1 game. But
yeah. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna downplay it. Like, you were gonna get the full experience.
Yeah, they really turn up the redacted meter on both of those two, and we fucking love to see it.
I think that's the one thing about, like, when you do have those crossover games, like, within a particular franchise where you're like, oh, good, like, they're not gonna just, like, what did they call it? Like, not Flanderize them? Like, yeah, like, Flanderize, like, the trope Flanderize, where it's, like, the character just becomes, like, the most bare bones version of themselves. And it's like, oh, like this sucks. Like, don't do this to my boy. Like, just because there's other characters that have like the crossover, like the character crossover, like the tropes shared. It's like, no, let them all be equally as complicated and ridiculous as they are in their home franchise, while also having like this is peak fan fiction moment where you have Sephiroth versus fucking lightning and shit. Like, you know, like we got...
It is peak fucking fan fiction, dude.
Yeah. Like, come on. You're giving me a break. Like,
oh, man. There's like this tiny scene where like Zidane and Kuja are like walking together because they're like fighting together. And then there's the enemy units that are like polygon reflections of the people in the same shape but don't have all the like character details. So they're like, summon these dolls. Also, it's 420 Happy Weed Minute. And the dolls usually attack on sight, but Kuja walks past two of them and they don't attack on sight, and we're just like, shit, no, dude, are you double crossing us? And Kuja's just like turning the villain meter all the way up. Absolutely. And delicious.
Can't believe it. I mean, again, what would you expect anything different? But it gives you that brief hope spot.
Something was different because this is a completely different universe, but fucking pie on my face, I guess.
They're playing it straight. Yeah. Damn it. Truly some villainous writing behavior. So
yeah, that's good.
On my end, I'm playing The Outer Worlds 2, the sequel to Obsidian's cool spiritual successor to Fallout game, Outer Worlds. This is not The Outer Wilds, completely different game. Unchecked corporative growth in space, crazy dystopian environments and organizations that are fascist and authoritarian. Every single Futurama, Fallout, and other generally zany media references and homages to stuff in the past. Yeah, this game's got it all, and it's also got a double jump feature.
Shit, they have a double jump?
Yeah, pretty good. I don't know, it's just, if you've ever dabbled or seen The Outer Worlds 1, and you were like, you know, like, they did a pretty good job, but like, it felt like very bare bones or whatever, I feel like...
Yeah, I think I saw some gameplay of that, and it looked like Fallout in space.
Yep, and again, it's like, it is more Fallout in space, but they made it...
That sounds enjoyable.
The general tone of the game is actually, like, less... It is still zany and ridiculous. Like, there's a lot of, like... You're like, I cannot believe there's, like, one space company forcefully took over and merged with another space corporation, and now, like, they like hybridize everything and streamline everything, and you're just like, oh my god, like, it's just like real life. Obviously still charming, ridiculous, over the top. You can play a stupid character who bumbles their way through the universe and you know, comes out the other end. But yeah, tone check, much darker, which I appreciate. I think is pretty cool. Not much more else to say about that. I know I tried starting Expedition 33, like I said last time, and then I quickly dropped the ball because I was like, oh, Outer Worlds 2, hey, let's go grab that. Pokemon DLC's out, which I haven't dabbled in, but I've seen some stuff, and I'm like, hey, that's...
Shit, son, you're eating.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So, hey, Quinn, did you hear about the Game Awards?
No, actually.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm not going to say anything. I just know that...
Did Expedition 33 sweep?
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty clean. They are It's not even a remaster. I think they're remaking the original Tomb Raider in modern day graphics and gameplay sensibilities and stuff. So that got previewed. during the awards, which was like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. And Shiv and Butt apparently like consulted or worked on it, which was something that I learned recently. I'm like, hey, so that's pretty exciting.
Sick.
But no, unfortunately, I could not bring the jokes home where I couldn't like immediately like kick your door open and be like, Quinn, they're releasing X video game you actually care about, and then you'd be like, holy shit. But my
not releasing video games that I care about.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. They're releasing another Mega Man game, which I'm like, oh, fuck, I care about that.
Oh yeah, I saw you popping off about that.
Fucking, it's actually Mega Man 12, but they're calling it something else. They're calling it like a different subtitle, like whatever. I just know that like I was just thinking back when I was on, you know what's cool, and then he's like, how many Mega Man are there? And I'm like, or like, are there any more coming out? I'm like, no. And then Capcom, like, Mega Man's fist bursts through the graveyard like dirt and pulls himself out, and he's like, I'm not fucking dead yet. So yeah. Video games good. We'll talk to you next week about video games. Let's get schmovin'. So we are some ideas for next episode because we are coming up to the year end of everything. Quinn and I are going to be thinking of doing what are the best cards we're thinking of 2025, or at least the favorite ones that we've had from the sets.
Oh fuck, dude, we got to cover our resis too.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to save that till like next episode or maybe like the episode afterward when we actually are in the new year.
All right, sounds good.
Because that at least gives us more time. Because I will also want to finish like my spreadsheet and also finish my Moxfield Book of Ops list, just so we know what the grand total of all the different commanders are. And
sounds good.
We are going to be figuring out who our next guest is, because I've been like running around like we're going to have guests 2 episodes in a row, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to have another guest. I think we're going to put a pause on guests until the new year, see where people are at, because, again, we're trying to get, like, Kristen on, but she's busy moving, and that probably won't be for, like, another month and a half or whatever. So, go back to the queue. We'll figure it out. We'll probably have the person in the new year or just sometime after that, and we'll do our regular New Year's stuff. But, yeah, what are our favorite cards from Check's Notes? Aether Drift and Final Fantasy and Spider-Man, and so on. And we'll get that to you next episode. I think we'll probably keep it to like maybe 3 cards per set or something, just to do our episodic bit there.
Sounds good.
So that'll be next.
Not go too long on that.
No. So yeah, guests will be coming up. Same old, same usual. Let's get into vibe checks.
Yeah. I can start this with Erdu and Isilu from Lorwyn, #LorwynHype.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Erdu, Carrier of Dawn, legendary creature, elemental god, flying, lifelink, 5/5 for 3 white, and creature spells you cast have Convoke. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay a black mana. If you do, transform Erdu. And it transforms into Isilu, Carrier of Twilight, legendary creature, elemental god, 5/5 with flying and lifelink, and each other non-token creature you control has Persist. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay a white mana. If you do, transform Isilu.
Yeah. The fact that it keeps the keywords on both sides is pretty good. It keeps the same stat line. So it's just good on either side.
A thing that I didn't really clock at first was that this was a 5/5. I just had it in the command zone for the other rules text, and then I cast that, and then I saw the stats and was like, hang on, I am actually beating people's asses in the air with this card, so I think we should probably consider a small commander damage package.
Understandable.
So yeah, we're going to get the Hero's Blade in there probably, and then, I'm a Stoneblade enjoyer, so we're going to get those cards in there.
Awesome, cool. So this next check here was kind of based off a couple things. One is because it was someone mentioned this Lucius the Eternal in the Legendary Creature Podcast Discord, and then I also came across a video about it, and I was like, well, maybe I should sit down and pay attention. So 5 black and red for 5/3 Stardust Warrior with haste, and then when Lucius the Eternal dies, exile it and choose target creature an opponent controls. When that creature leaves the battlefield Return Lucius from exile to the battlefield under its owner's control. Does it pass the check? Yeah. It's a creature that can eventually like just straight up bypass command attacks, so it can self-recur, which is pretty sweet. You get a hasty 8/5, be like block or suffer. And pretty sure you can like stack the ETB with like the equip trigger before like Warstorm Surge and those other cards like maybe check its power. So you can just start like just crashing down on people like that. So yeah, Lucius the Eternal seems pretty awesome in retrospect.
Yeah, I think I've seen this deck actually in action, and Lucius absolutely gets in there and crushes, and you draw a bunch of cards for his power if you've got the spider from that one set that has Soul Bond.
Yes, yeah.
This is a deck where that guy really gets to cook.
God, I really do love that fucking spider. Which I'm sure someone will be like, if you don't talk about and tell us what the spider is, we will tell you what it is. I will work on that. Don't worry. Anyway, so the next check, or we'll see if Kirill, attentive first year, will pass the check. No, they do not. So we got a 1 and a double Boros hybrid, 3/3 vampire cleric. Tap 2 untap creatures you control, copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy, activate only once each turn. So I say no because Kirill feels more like an enabler, unless I'm thinking somehow you give like your creatures vigilance and then you put swords of whatever and then you deal combat damage and then you tap your creatures to copy the damage trigger for whatever the sword happens to be. Don't know exactly what that looks like. I just think that Kirill's probably better off like in the back doing the copying stuff with whatever one of your like little Scrimblow armies are like helping you double your triggers. So yeah, I don't know. Cool stuff.
I'm inclined to agree with that. I think you have a guy who is probably attacking who maybe wants to wear the blade, but Kirill is going to be tapped when it counts.
Yeah, so cool design though.
Also, the spider's name is Doomweaver.
Doomweaver, thank you. Yeah, God, Doomweaver's so fucking cool. Oh, I need more of them. I was thinking, I forgot what her other name is. The one that soul bonds for when they take damage, they deal damage to any target equal to like whatever damage they were dealt.
Oh, Donna Noble.
Yeah, I was thinking of just like for whatever reason, I'm like, yeah, just put Doomweaver and Donna Noble together, like just soul bond them and just say fuck it, like whatever. Just
much to think about.
Yeah, I got them both in my Sauron, the Lilith's Eye deck. Just because, like, yeah, let's just get all the weird, funky stuff in Soul Bond. I do love me some Soul Bond, so yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, that's it for the checks this episode. Let's go right into comments.
Yeah, starting off, we've got one from The Super Ultra Death Dungeon, HBVC episode 53, from the lovely Medusa, who says, I am also a Michaeloth enjoyer and have been since its printing. Pretty sure it's survived to an upkeep maybe 10 times in that time. Hell yeah, fam. Congratulations.
You are the one who, here's your gold star, your trophy, in fact.
Love to look someone directly in the eyes and tell them, you are not going to be the first person to survive to an upkeep with a Michaeloth. It's not going to happen.
I still have that foil one that I've had like forever and just don't know what to do with it. I don't know what deck it goes into.
You can try and be the first person.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Let's go to the next comment here. This is from episode 52, aka Get Those Dang Earthbenders Off My Lawn.
That's 54.
What did I say?
52.
You know what? It made sense in my head. So Lenny here saying, I'm hoping Jaws sets a precedent. I'm tired of creatures being blue just because they live underwater. Sharks are red aligned and no one can tell me otherwise. I mean, yeah, I'm considering the red sharks that we have, then yeah.
100, real, yes.
And then Medusa's back saying, I almost made a joke that if I get referenced anymore on this podcast, I'll need a feature before remembering I literally guessed it like 2 episodes ago. It's like, yes, this, despite the issue, obviously, of us doing this every 2 weeks is that you sometimes forget that you were on like literally like a month and a half ago. It is funny that way. I will also mention this because Mike was messaging me, and then I had to send you the screenshot of here. He's just like, damn, I finished this 3-hour episode and now I want more because I'm he's like, how about we get an episode in right now? And I'm like, dude, I would love to do that, but also cool your jets. We will get you back on.
To the sickos.
The real sickos. They're like, can you do a 6-hour episode to pair with the like, no, you crazy people, we will not do that. Maybe, question mark. All right. Quinn, it's time to go to our usual D2 Space Girl intermission.
Yeah, I'll see you in the Final Fantasy boss chamber.
Hey, it's Johnny Mardu. It's Final Fantasy. What else did you expect? Let's get this shit started.
Fucking sick ass beats.
Thank you.
Good shit.
What's in creative media this week?
Oh, fuck. Well, I decided to put a whole ass fucking list of stuff here because I don't know what the hell's been going on recently, but I guess I've actually decided to sit down and watch some stuff.
My man's is eating good.
So let's go over reminder text. Your new, I say you as in the listener, and also I guess you, Quinn, but your new favorite Magic the Gathering content creator, reminder text, was like, hey, clickbait title, I built a Firelord Zuko commander deck for Dante Basco, aka the voice actor of Zuko. And then you open the video and you watch, and then you see him and Dante Vasco sitting together talking about Magic. And you're like, huh? And then he's like, so anyway, my cousin Dante came over and we talked about this. I'm like, huh? What? So that was pretty cool. I do encourage everyone to go watch that episode. The one snip that I got from it that freaking kills me is just like it's like when you, it's the Hangover clip when the guy is like reading cards and all like the mathematics is like flying over, transparent over like the screen. And it's just Dante trying to understand the rules text of Zuko with like, so you exile whenever you cast or play things from exile. And he's just like, I don't understand this. We're like, okay, don't worry. You'll eventually figure it out if you want to. That cracked me up though. Pretty cool stuff. A lot of stuff on that, in that video. Some stuff I considered, and I obviously have in my brew, and other things where I'm like, didn't think about that. That's pretty cool. So go check that out. always a good, fun watch with a reminder text video. The next one, which I was like, you know what, I got to try and sit down and watch the Spike Feeders play CEDH. So it's their game with Hashton versus Green Goblin versus Ragavan versus Rogsai, which turns out they were like, anyway, so I do this thing. They're like, okay, they're like, pass the turn. And they're like, oh no. It's just, it was a very, as they said, a very casual CADH game. As they were like discarding like a bunch of crazy shit because of like wheels and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, no one's making any crazy big plays. But Jim LePage was getting in there with Norman Osborn, just turning him sideways.
I do like to see that. And Green Goblin is a pretty cool CADH commander.
And then the other thing that always cracks me up is whenever they do a CADH episode, Alex goes on like Bluesky and he's like, guys, what the fuck do you want us to do with like Oracle of Thassa, like Oracle of Thassa? That doesn't sound right.
Thassa's Oracle.
Thassa's Oracle. I'm like inverse, flip the script. But he's like, every time people complain about it, and I'm like, look, I understand that because I think that's like, they're like, cool. So anyway, we got another fucking Thoracle consultation win, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but like that shit's
and anytime they don't play it, then people are complaining about them playing.
There's no winning, and yet they still keep playing CDH because obviously, like those guys enjoy it, like they're taking a crack at it.
You gotta just keep playing it.
And then overly casual, I just came across this video randomly. The Lucius the Eternal CDH deck tech, aka War Crime King. I was like, oh, hey, that's a cool tie-in to like me looking into Lucius the Eternal. Just happened to come up. So go check out that deck tech because I just thought that was a very quick, funny, entertaining video. Kind of like, was it Cards and Guac or whatever? I can't remember the guy's name.
Quips and Guac?
Quips and Guac, yeah. Just like one of those interesting, like, they make little random Scrimblow 2D character to represent them as they go through the deck tag. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get behind that. Lucius does have, there is a lot of cool tech in obviously having a self-recurring commander with a condition of just kill target creature. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Pretty easy to do. Next thing, our prayers have been answered. A new Legendary Creature podcast episode has come out, and it's finally the one where Andy sits down and talks about decks for each commander damage class, which has been an ongoing thing that he's been hyper fixating about for what, like, it feels like 2 or 3 months now or something.
It's something like that, and him and everybody in the fucking Discord, we are all eating this shit up, my guy. Incredible work on this episode. Love that. Going back for a second helping.
I already went back for my second helping, and I'm pretty sure I need to go back right into it again because I'm like, what I need to is there. It's like smooth brain shit is deflecting off of it. I do need to sit down and just kind of absorb it again. But I woke up this morning and I'm like, all right, let's look at my phone and check my messages. See a Kyle post with the link. I'm like, a new episode, yes. So go check that out. It'll be still an ongoing thing, and then the new year will happen, and then things reset for them. What does that mean? We will find out, but I am looking forward to the carnage. All right. The next thing I'm talking about, I got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, Am I the Bullcast? Obviously, you should be listening to them. Mike runs a hilarious podcast, and everyone like Michael Solani and Morgan are doing freaking wonderful work over there. I really do have to shout out the episode where they had the editor Ken come on. Fuck, sorry, Ken. So funny. Ken fits in like a glove. It's an absolutely chaotic episode, so I do encourage everyone to go check that one out, in particular from recent episodes. And also, speaking of Mike got an article out on EDH Rec about the best graveyard cards in 2025. I went through it this morning, and I immediately knew that I had to add a particular card from it. I think it's like the Ret. What the fuck is this thing called? It's a bird. It's a Ret Tomb Mystic from the Aether Drip Commander decks, where you creatures in your hand have cycling for 1 and a blue, which I realize works really well in my Shiko Paragon the Way deck.
Oh yeah, that's an easy way to get guys into your graveyard.
Yeah. Graveyard players are eating really good in 2025.
And so are graveyard hate players, so keep that thing on you.
Brew Review, Cody and Laz, or Cody and Michael, I guess. That's fucking... Anyway, they had an episode on Griswold the Sower, or whatever the hell that thing's called. I should have copied.
Sower?
Yeah, the one where I'm like, no, don't give me things, please, because that means if the things you give me die, you get bigger, and I don't know how I feel about that. What is with Golgarian doing that? I don't know. But anyway, good review episode. Always love listening to what those guys are up to. Next thing, God, there's so many things. Cass Hine,
great, sweetie.
Strixhaven Dropout. She's got a new article with her top 4 commander faux pas that is less to do with like the game itself and more to do with how people behave in social situations when it comes to gaming, which I'll go over some of the mentions, but it's just like, hey, touching cards, having to read cards, or aka not reading cards and kind of just skimming through things, breaking deals and counter picking your deck, which sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't know about that one in particular, but you know, I can understand why people might get frustrated about that one. You want to know my particular social pet peeve when it comes to Commander, and I wish I had the one I had earlier today in my head and then was like, dang it, I should have written it down and I didn't. But as I was looking at this again and thinking about it, I dislike the quote unquote Commander players who don't like Commander, and they sit there and they play there with you, and then they complain about Commander, and then I'm like, the fuck are we doing here then? We know these people. They usually don't play Commander, but when they do, they definitely tell you about how they would literally want to play anything else but Commander. I just don't like those people. There's some other things, I'm sure. There's a lot of like social faux pas that hybridize people's behavior with like gameplay stuff. So, and Kaz, as usual, like hitting the social checkmark stuff when it comes to like playing this game. I always appreciate her insight on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen has got 3 particular articles that she's made recently that I wanted to focus on. One which came out just after we like put the episode out from last time. So we're going through the 10 coolest new commanders of 2025, which goes through the whole gamut of every single set in 2025. Some of which, of course, were like, hey, Joshua mentioned. That seems to be a following trend with some of the articles that came out this week, was just Joshua mentioned. Which then we go into her 5 commanders she never wants to play against. Number 1 may surprise you, as it shocked me, actually. And then her commander class of 2025, where she reviews her roster, where she was compared to last year versus where she is this year. And as usual, Boros decks seem to reign supreme of what gets to stick around. So go give
She's
that
right about number 1 BT dubs.
What was that?
She's right about number 1 BT dubs.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But of course, anyway, that I will not spoil those ones because, of course, it would be to the shock of no one. There's a 5-color card. But anyway, so yeah, go check out, as usual, go check out Kristen's articles. I always look forward to her stuff, and I anticipate more once she finally gets her moved in settled. Quinn, you got one thing here that I guess is Magic the Gathering adjacent if you squint.
No, here's the deal. I have been complaining about Final Fantasy XII on the mic here, and I'm here to give you some fucking closure, all right? I watched a 2.5 hour long video about Final Fantasy XII to see the perspective of somebody who liked and finished the game, and they had a good time, and I see what they enjoy about the experience. I've also, through this, seen the end of the game and have absolutely no need to touch that again in my life. I don't agree with a lot of Homegirl's points, but I see how she got to that conclusion, and I'm glad that Final Fantasy XII has shooters out there. I am not one of them.
What I'm gonna say to that is, I guess she was built different.
Truly built different. Oh man.
So who's more sick in the head? The person who sat down and made a 2.5 hour long video about Final Fantasy XII, or the person who doesn't like Final Fantasy XII but watched the 2.5 hour long video?
I needed to know what she liked about it.
It's 2.5 hours, Quinn.
Okay, but I spent 65 in that game before getting to the point where I'm fucking done.
Who's more sick in the head, Quinn? I'm pointing a very bright light into your eyes, and I'm asking you in an inquiring manner, who's more sick in the head?
It's probably me. She was at least on Twitch.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. All right. Anyway, well, glad you got your closure, I guess, in that sense. How does that game end?
There is a guy, and he uses the power of a crystal to summon a big airship. You go and storm the airship, you slay the guy, and then Van and Pinello become sky pirates, and Fran and Balthier either like fuck off into the sunset or retire, something like that. And then Ash learns that she doesn't need the power of the nuclear bomb to unite her kingdom.
Interesting. Still sounds like, weirdly enough, a more mundane ending to a Final Fantasy game.
I mean, you still get the guy transforming himself into a monster, and it's
Does he
like
fuse
made
with
of
the ship?
pieces of the giant, yes, of the airship.
Okay, never mind. I take it back. It's sick as fuck.
Yep, that's Final Fantasy.
It reminds me of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: The Crystal Bearers, where that happened too.
What?
Yeah,
Is that also a game set in Evilus?
No.
Is that just what people do there?
No, it's a different setting. It's the one in the Crystal Chronicles spin-off world. I don't know.
Probably will not be touching those.
Get it on your Wii. Get the Wii remote going because it uses motion controls.
Do they have summons, though?
Yes, but you don't do it.
Okay, well then I'm definitely not doing it if it's not the fucking... I can't even roleplay a summoner. I'm out.
No, because your summoner roleplay experience is stolen by an NPC who you're trying to chase after.
What the fuck?
Immediate Italian's pretty cool though, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, let's get on to Brews Off the Shelf, huh?
All right, sounds good.
Quinn, what?
Yeah.
I need you to scare the hose because you got nothing here. The one time I'll ask you is I need you to scare the hose because I need to know what we're looking at here. All right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so here's Gobin, Gene Splice Savant, and Fleam, Gobin's creation, a Grixis self-discard reanimator deck that's also built around a random encounter.
Yeah, that's a cool card, isn't it? You were up to way too much bullshit with that fucking card.
Yeah, oh, did I not even put the deck list here? How rude.
No, you...
Alright, there's the deck list.
Alrighty, let's take a look at this so let's just establish the card and then the eventual thesis statement here. What does random encounter do?
Okay, so first off, the Art of Random Encounter features a Malboro, a Curl, and an Iron Giant, 3 notoriously difficult Final Fantasy enemies, and the thing that they are doing is fucking jumping your ass. This is a random encounter. You're gonna get jump scared by some very scary creatures. Rules text of this 6-mana sorcery for 4 red is shuffle your library, then mill 4 cards, put each creature card milled this way onto the battlefield. They gain haste. At the beginning of the next end step, return those creatures to their owner's hand. It also has flashback for 6 red.
I have cast this thing for its flashback cost because it's actually that fucking sick.
Yeah, the thing about this card is it actually is really fucking sick. I put 41 creatures in this deck because I wanted to have a very good chance of hitting at least 2 creatures, and a significant portion of my creatures are worth reanimating. So we put some reanimation targets in here. We got a bunch of cards that say draw and discard, a couple of cards that pay off drawing cards. And we just I'm looking to move cards between zones, like my hand in the graveyard. I'm looking to cast Reanimates to return my larges to the battlefield. And I have a thick recursion package so that I can cast Random Encounter, return Random Encounter, cast Random Encounter, flashback Random Encounter, put Random Encounter from exile back into my graveyard and put it back into my hand with a different spell and then cast it again. I'm really out here fucking doing criminal work, casting Random Encounter and making you all look at these very scary creatures repeatedly.
Yep, and it's true. I've been there. So, what about the rest of the deck? What's going on here? Because you got quite a fucking cool suite of creatures in this deck.
Yeah, so first off, we didn't have a Buster Sword in the first draft. We added a Buster Sword because people expect that shit from me, and it makes sense because my commander's unblockable. Probably going to get Key to the Vault in there too because it's the same Empress Quinn type beat. I'm hitting you, I'm casting free spells in combat. That aside, the deck construction looks like a pile of loots. I got Talion's Messenger, I got Unctus Grand Metatect, I got All-Seeing Arbiter. It's all like creatures exactly like this all the way up and down. Almost everybody in this bitch moves cards between zones in this way. Then we've got a suite of reanimates. I'm on creature-based reanimates for a lot of this. I have stuff like Archpriest of Shadows and Terror of Tawashi. Terror of Tawashi does it on an attack trigger. You pay 3 and a black, and you can return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. It's from March of the Machine, so that's why you've never heard of it.
That card is sick, though. I love that card, though.
It is fucking sick, and for my monster enjoyers in the chat, please look this art up. Anyway,
okay, I need you to relax. What the fuck? This is not GGG. We are not here for this.
That doesn't mean I can't shout them out every once in a while. Anyway, Archpriest of Shadows is a similar type beat from March of the Machines. It's got backup 1, Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So I'm on all sorts of like those. We also have Chainer.
Why do they both have fucking Death Touch? What is with that?
Cause fuck them. That's why.
Yeah.
Because you have to attack and they have a high impact trigger and they want to make it like a thing that's not just like your opponent is going to take the action to ensure that this doesn't happen without having some actual cost for it. So yeah, there's those guys. I also have a couple of spell-based reanimates. There's Connive Concoct. We've got Hex of Undeath or Behold the Sinister Six or whatever. There's a Breach the Multiverse. We've got Prison Break, which is the 5-mana reanimate with Mayhem for 4 and a black. I'm on Living Death in this one. Shout out to Garbage. We're on Coiling Rebirth and Dread Return and Victimize and Scrounge for Eternity and 0 Point Ballad. And you know I'm on my Archaeomancers, so if I was on Dance Macabre, it would fit right in here. Of course, there's the bullet point here for Random Encounter. That's a big point of the deck, and I don't have to say anything else about the card. We've got our suite of Archaeomancers in Vohar, Actual Factual Archaeomancer, Cormella, the Grixis girly, who is a notorious combo engine. But we have her in the deck here to buy back my Random Encounters. And then we've got Scholar of the Ages. And then in terms of spell-based ones, I've got Mystic Retrieval and Sorceress's Schemes. That one I really liked in Final Fantasy Limited, and I'm playing it here because it does what I needed to and can reach cards from exile and adds a fucking red mana. What?
Yeah, I recently got Laura on this. She was trying to cheat. She was on this like flashback idea that she had, and I'm like, have you seen Sorceress's Schemes? And she's like, Cole, you're a fucking genius. And she put together this like Najal the Stormrunner deck around like spell slinger, infinite combo stuff around like Mystic Retrieval and Sorcerer Scheme. So I don't know. I'll float the thing your way. Maybe there'll be something in there that maybe you didn't know or think about. But who knows if that idea meshes with the idea of what you got going on here. Like, you're more focused on like the redundancy of having access to these effects to keep the random encounter bullshit counter continuing.
Yeah, I'm trying to raise the encounter rate in this dungeon.
Where's my escape rope? I want out of here. I don't feel safe.
You get the Professor Oak notification. There's a time and place for everything.
No, fuck you, Professor Oak. This is bullshit.
I want out. There's a time and place for everything. Anyway,
there's Zubats everywhere in this
Scourge.
cavern. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Anyway, Captain Howler, Sea Scourge, he's in the fucking special section because when this guy shows up, it is very clear that this is a Grixis Howler deck. And yeah, it fucking is. I take all of these game actions, I turn them into Howler triggers, I put them on Gobin, who is unblockable, or I put them on one of my larges with flying. Any of that I beat, and I'm just fucking killing people with combat damage.
Yeah, Captain Howler, what a fucking goddamn card. Like, every time.
Truly.
Love this dude. So good. I have 2 decks based around him, and one of them is Captain Howler.
It feels so good to be like going card neutral with all of your looting effects and then stack up Howler triggers, and then you just fucking cash out in combat and put 5 cards in your hand from all that and chunk somebody's life total down. Fuck. Shit feels incredible.
It's pretty good. I like, you've been on that, like, hey, wizards, can I please combine Captain Howler Sea Scourge and your other, like, thesis statement card, Crypt Caller Chariot, into the single list, please and thank you. And then WotC said, here's this piece of shit Magic the Gathering set, but this Legend's actually kind of sick with it, though. Here you go.
Yeah, basically. They gave me Gobin, who perfectly wants fucking Captain Howler and Crypt Caller Chariot.
And the ilk. Yeah, just good stuff. Good stuff. I also notice I also have
to endurance. What am I doing?
Yeah, what? Okay, whoa. You gotta be kidding me. This is a discard deck. It's immediately gotta be auto included. I know now. I know what you're thinking.
I literally completely forgot about that card until right now.
Shout out to Kaido Cunning Infiltrator from Magic Foundations, which just gets loyalty counters whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, which then you can just like, cool, I get the emblem, fucking deal with it.
Yeah, this guy's actually fucking incredible in this deck. I can, like, Gobin already has unblockable, so he's getting in for surezies, but I can give one of my other smaller looters or somebody like a dragon who I really want to connect, I can just give them that ability. You can't fucking block them, and then I'm getting in there with things like Dragon Mage.
Oh, fucking Dragon Mage, what a card. Can we get a super special foil printing of Dragon Mage, please? I'm asking for me.
I would like that. I also have a Tempsis All-Seeing in here. She's another one that I would really like to have unblockable. So, yeah, that's that same type thing. I give her no blockies, and then I get in there, and then I show you Exodia, and you die.
Oh, they do have a special printing, and it's fucking from Jumpstart. God damn it!
Oh, no.
Ugh. Anyway.
Damn. So a point about the construction of this deck is we share a lot of DNA with the Dance Macabre style control decks, but ultimately we are looking to be more on the front foot than those strategies. We are looking to loop the random encounter and beat people to fucking death rather than dance, and I guess that's a way that you can take the knowledge that you've gained playing that archetype and apply it differently.
Yeah,
so with that gameplay experience, we touched so many fucking cards, Lamau.
Yeah, I fucking bet. Holy shit.
Yeah, the way that this is constructed, almost everybody is like an attack or ETB or activated ability or something that is moving cards in between zones. So all of that feels good if you're a gamer who likes to take game actions. Earlier, I had noted that I put random encounter on the stack one time so far, and it was countered, and it was, probably correct to do that. Besides that, if you're not on that game plan, you do successfully play a normal Grixis discard into reanimate game plan. You're not entirely reliant on getting the fucking random encounter to pop off. In this game, we cast a Coiling Rebirth, we gave the gift to Medusa, and she had her thumb on the red Exile Your Graveyard button in exchange for her being very cool about me trying to get away with the reanimation. So I go and find Random Encounter and Sorceress's Schemes, and then with the Offspring copy, I find Dread Return and Mystic Retrieval. I'm giving some fucking gifts on given ass piles with this.
Yeah, what the fuck? Jeez.
Unfortunately, none of that mattered, though, because we got Hoffered on immediately after.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yep. After that game, I was like, we could probably stand to add like one of the bigger Fleshback Marauders, something that requires the sacrifice of a non-token creature. Because I have Shelly and the True Scriptures, but I think she's the only Fleshback Marauder type beat that I'm on, and I could probably go up one or two of those. And I think we need like a wheel or two. We touched a lot of cards, but we end up card neutral, and we need to go card positive. If we find cards like Howler or Kefka or the Dragon Mage, then those are ways that we can like refill our hand. But a lot of this is just like I'm going card neutral and then eventually negative when I'm actually spending the cards on reanimate or hard casting them. So we need to like consider some different card advantage packages. Maybe a Coastal Piracy, considering I am fucking Grazilax.
Yeah, of course. As usual, it's fucking Grazilax. I was I was thinking about that because I was still thinking about the Shiko Reanimator lists that you piggyback off North Dakota, and then I was thinking about, because I was tweaking, I was looking at Shiko recently and I was doing some tweaks, and I realized that like fundamentally, despite like the mana value differences and like what the end goal is, like there's a lot of like crossover in like how are we getting this stuff back out and like what are we doing, and like in a way, depending on how you go about it or like the types of packages that you add in or whatever, even though you are discarding the cards and your card selection is kind of making you be neutral or under, like you should still ideally be able to access your graveyard as like your second hand thing. So you're not operating at a complete loss, but you do run the risk of obviously like running out of cards and everything. So it's tricky, but it's just about the mentality of like everything. And like, I guess the other thing too, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Coastal Piracy, obviously. Again, I don't know why you weren't on Monument to Endurance, because that's one of the other ways that like
another way to turn my like card neutral loots into card positives.
Like, and you still, you're dinging depending on how dig you deep, like you're dinging everyone, or you're drawing additional card, or you're creating a treasure token.
A lot of turns, I am looking at like 3 loots per combat or something like that, and that easy, just like full checklist on the monument. I'm very into that.
Yeah, so it's like the various ways that you can leverage the tech, like it just continues to change. But I think at least for what you currently got going on, I don't know, the end result is just fucking disastrous, because once you fucking hit like random encounter, fucking breach the multiverse, like you're off to the fucking races of just like, this is just not fucking okay with what you're doing.
It's really not.
Holy shit.
Yeah, speaking of it not being okay, there's this game that I played with you and Benoit and I think Fredo.
Pretty sure it was Fredo,
yeah. Get to resolve random encounter 3 times, and we flipped into like Vohar on the first one, and we sacked that. The lets me cast Scrounge from Eternity from my graveyard that we used to reanimate a mnemonic wall. We used to get back the random encounter. Then another cast of that flipped into Nezahal, and before we got to end step, I'm like discard, dive Nessie down so I don't have to return him to my hand. Oh man, beautiful. That felt incredible.
Having the ways to like flicker or just delay the return a hand trigger or just completely negate it, like really cool way to get around that effect. And again, good job on like I have cast random encounter a handful of times where like you'd kind of wish that like they milled maybe one more card or whatever.
Always Magic the Gathering cart players love to make up a card
add one here, -1 on the mana value. We got a good card. It's the most busted shit you've ever seen in your fucking life.
Yep.
But in the times where I'm like, oh hey, random encounter actually like works super well. When I got the fuck was that card's name? Like that Guardian Scale Lord came out. And I hit something to bring something that allowed me to flicker stuff at the end step back. So then I did that. And I flickered the Guardian Scale Lord to bypass the random encounter bounce to hand thing. And I'm like, that was actually pretty sick. I can get used to this.
You feel so smart when you pull those neat moves off.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Again, and then Guardian Scale Lord fucking coming from the exact same set as Archpriest of Shadows and fucking...
Yeah, another March of the Machines banger.
Like, wow. You know what? Say what you will about those sets.
They had cool-ass designs.
I'm a big fan, and you know what? Backup, you can flicker Archpriest of Shadows and shit. Like, come on, it's so good.
It's good.
So yeah, a lot of cool fucking cards here from like everywhere, like every walk of life, every set.
Yeah, I basically did like a search for draw, discard in my MTGO collection and put all of the creatures that were relevant that showed up in there. Mm-hmm. And so we end up in a situation where I've got Tersa Light Shatter next to fucking Emmett Selk Unsundered and Kiora the Rising Tide. Like, I've got them all.
Yeah, geez, look, it's fucking Exodia shit over here. No, don't get that one?
Not quite.
All right, never mind. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones.
Oh, yeah. There we go. All right, what do you have for me?
All right. So it's time for Bloodrook posting.
Shit, it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. I haven't played it. Actually, I got the thing open. Let me check it out here. When was the last time I played? Back on November 22nd, and I think that was definitely before the Avatar: The Last Airbender updates, which I actually just realized I got to update the note here. Post Avatar: The Last Airbender. So there were some updates there were some additions that were done with some expectations for those additions, and then maybe next time I'll give a proper breakdown of the deck when I play it with these things. Of course, the Charismatic Conqueror edition wasn't a fucking joke, Cody. Don't fucking doubt me. So, let's talk about the additions. Well, let's talk about the subtractions from the deck. I've managed to wiggle an extra land in, which I guess,
nice.
Maybe worth mentioning.
We love to hear about being responsible.
So I actually removed Path to Exile, which hurt a little bit, but hear me out. Teleportation Circle was taken along with Senu, Keen-Eyed Protector, Starfield Shepherd, and a willy-nilly added Kazul's Fury, which I ended up not really digging for the deck, even if it was an MDFC. So then I was like, cool, I will actually just put in a land, aka Secluded Starforge.
Okay.
So, this was a land from Edge of Eternities, where you can add for colorless, or you can pay to tap X untapped artifacts you control. Target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. Activate it only as a sorcery. Boo. You can also pay 5, tap it, and add, you can create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature. So, you can convert blood tokens into power for whatever that body happens to be. Odric and or things with relevant keywords. I've added this to a few different decks. I think it has a home here, obviously, with the likes of, I don't know, let's see, Agris Kos, Lightning Army of One, Swiftblade Vindicator, Ivora Insatiable Hair, Why Does She Have Trample? And it's so fucking sick. So on and so on and so on. I just think it just felt right. If you have plentiful amount of artifacts in a deck, I think Secluded Starforge can slot right into your land base, and you can surprise people, catch them slipping.
I think you're probably right on that. I did not respect that card initially, and then somebody ripped that out in just like a mere typo deck or something like that, and then started buffing things that had unblockable, and I'm like, oh, okay, I did not fully internalize the rules text on that card, and now I will die.
You can tap your swords to like help pay for the power boost. It's like pretty sick. It's kind of like it's weird.
Pretty fucking sweet, yeah. Damn, I can tap my swords. Fuck, it's genius.
Why didn't I think of that? Charismatic Conqueror from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It was about time, probably. This card backs up Thalia, Heretic Cathar in terms of keeping my opponents slowed down or in check.
Get a little stacks piece in there. You deserve it.
Or you give me a bodies, plural, with a different keyword that goes towards the Odric Bloodcursed blood count.
No, I think my creature will be ending tapped, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. But again, a 2/2 for 2 with Vigilance. That makes a 1/1 with Lifelink, so that seems pretty good. Felt probably was pretty expensive, probably too expensive, but I got it anyway, so there it is. Now let's go into the Avatar The Last Airbender cards, the 3 particular ones that I added that I felt like were pretty good additions, and I have some very high expectations here. So Smeller B, Rebel Fighter.
This fucking guy.
This card that I was like, wait a fucking second, hold on a second, what are they fucking cooking in this set? 3 in a red for a 3/3 human rebel ally with first strike. Other creatures you control have haste, and whenever Smeller B attacks, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw cards equal to the number of attacking creatures. So hey, you're playing an aggro deck, throw this in here. Has 1 keyword, gives the rest another keyword, aka haste, aka get fucking fucked. What the hell? And it fills my graveyard for like my Sun Titan, Angel of Indemnity, blah, blah, blah shit, while also drawing me potentially 2, 3, 5 cards. Like,
pretty good.
What the fuck? What is this kid eating? Like, what is going on here?
Great question.
Enter the Avatar State. Bit of a semi-step dodge for targeted removal. It doesn't give indestructible. But
I haven't gotten got by this unlimited yet, but I fear every 1 white mana open on my opponent's board because I just know that one of them has drafted it.
Enter the Avatar State, a 1 white instant lesson spell here. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes an avatar in addition to its other types and gains flying, first strike, lifelink, and hexproof. So yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a good, neat setup spell on a single creature if you want to turn it sideways. It also gives 4 keywords, including lifelink. What the fuck? Like, it's relevant on everything. You can do it offensively and turn something big sideways, and people will be like, well, if I was not able to target it with removal then, I am now not able to do it now. Or you can do it as a surprise thing, be like, hey, by the way, I still have more power and I first strike get fucked. It has flying. Why? I get why. Like, flavor-wise, you're like, this is fucking obscene. You know how powerful Aang can get in the show when he enters the Avatar State. It's fucking bananas. But why did they have to give all 4 of these keywords on 1 card? I am saluting. I am taking it to the bank. I am casting this on Odric Bloodcursed himself, and I am turning him sideways with fucking secluded Starforge, and I'm fucking devouring you. Get out of my way. I
gotta protect Joshua with one of these.
Yeah, I think you do. It would be pretty sick. People are like, oh, you flipped over to the Phoenix?
Tilted. Be like, oh, Quinn is tapped out. Quinn doesn't have anything. I have 1 white mana, actually, and Joshua's gonna enter the Avatar State.
Which is actually kind of sick. Airbender Ascension. This one got a 2 mana enchantment, 1 and a white. When it enters, airbend up to 1 target creature, which then it goes into exile and can be cast for 2 generic. Whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if this enchantment has 4 or more quest counters on it, exile up to 1 target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. That is so fucking easy to do. And while it is a more conditional teleportation circle, which can exile artifacts as well, this thing can reset one of my creatures for its ETB in a pinch. It can get rid of a blocker later in the game, so it never really feels like a dead fucking card. And again, Whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. The only number you need is 4. Yeah, that's pretty easy for me to do in this fucking deck. Just keep making the deck leaner and leaner and leaner, mana value wise. Just sheesh.
Yeah, you find more efficient cards over time and like make the finely honed blade.
Again, I'm pretty sure we're still reaching the threshold of like you could literally choose a different commander. It's fine, and I'll sit here, fucking gritting my teeth, chained up as you're like punching me in the face, and I'll be like, "Fuck you."
We're all like, bro, take Audric out of the command zone, put Joshua in there instead, and you're like, "Fuck you, I will never change."
But also, I should probably put Joshua in this deck too. Maybe.
Yeah, he'd look really good next to Lightning and Thalia.
It's true. All right. What do you got next here?
Up next, I have a Lulu Loyal Hollyphant and Passionate Archaeologist deck that I am not sure if should stay Passionate Archaeologist or be Guild Artisan. Yeah.
I mean, okay. I have to wonder what this deck is about, because I have heard about Lulu and Guild Artisan lists. Like that, that makes sense. But what do you got cooking here? What's going on exactly?
OMG, that's the wrong button. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So there's the Lulu X Guild Artisan list, and then I have one more that's Lulu X Passionate Archaeologist.
Okay, I'll be putting both of those in the description.
Extremely normal behavior.
Mm-hmm. Quinn, the master of 10,000 decks? What?
What? Oh, did I? Okay. I think this is probably the same list? Question mark?
Is it like literally you swapped it 1 for 1, or?
I do not know. Alright, there's both of them.
I will be the judge of this. Hold on.
Yeah, Sphinx of Black.
No, this is not the same. This is not the same list at all. You've made some pretty decent swaps here and there. Fucking Cloud Appa. You got another Aang in here. You added Arbozmir. You took out Bronzebeak Forges. You got like a somewhat of like a different end goal with both versions.
So yeah, there's let's make Airbending and Cascade discover Hold Hands and make out Sloppy Style. And I was looking for commanders to accomplish this goal in Boros, and Jeff in LCP mentioned Lulu and Passionate Archaeologist, and we liked the sound of that enough to run with it. We've also been testing Lulu and Guild Artisan, though, because we're not sure whether it's better to put the ramp or the win condition in the command zone. There's like arguments for both of them. The win condition in the command zone means you are more respectful of everybody's time in killing them with Cascade. And the Guild Artisan in the command zone means you just overall have a more smoother gameplay experience, which also is more respectful of people's time. So, I don't know.
I think you need to get more I think you need to get more reps in.
Yeah, obviously you got to just play more games. The 99 of the decks, though, basically a lot of the cards that are saying Cascade but aren't like French vanilla creatures. Aurora Phoenix is, I think, one of the best of those, because you can rebuy that with the cast of other Cascade spells from your graveyard. And it like is a 5/3, so it just like hits people a lot in combat. Feels pretty good. The other thing that is really good for that is Ingenuity Engine. It's like 7 mana, but it's got Cascade, and you can return target artifact you control to its owner's hand.
It's a good card. It does the work.
Yeah, it triggers Revolt for Lulu, and it just like is a repeatable way to have cascade triggers. It's also a really sweet thing to airbend so that you can cast that again from exile for the 2 mana and get the cascade for the like 7 mana value. We're also on basically everything that says Discover. Trumpeting Carnosaur in particular, one of my favorites of those. It's a large ETBs and Discovers 5, and you can also discard it to deal 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So if you have Recursion, I don't think this deck really does. We're very much on the front foot on this kind of thing. But if you're into that kind of thing, a big-ass Recursion target or reanimation target that puts itself in the graveyard is not to be ignored. I also get to be greedy and put a giant dinosaur in my deck and call it Interaction.
Don't let Light hear this. I mean, hey, 3 for 3, it does the work. It'll do the job in a pinch.
Yeah, it's literally fine. I play this in Standard, actually. There's like Trumpeting Carnosaurs and Summon Knights of the Round and Valgavoth that I tried to put into play on turn 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Feels pretty good.
That is the job, yep.
We're on basically everything that says Airbend, but the Appas and Monk Gyatso are the particularly effective cards here. Monk Gyatso being the either protection or I can activate an equip ability targeting one of my creatures and have that airbend it. And all of that lets me like rebuy the Cascade and discover creatures, ETBs, to get more value. We're on our usual EDH Stoneblade package. In one of these, we've got the Cloud, the Stoneforge, the Philia, the Sarima, the knives that I like. Because Lulu has flying, it'd be irresponsible to leave damage on the table like that. We also packed the Quarry Steel Cutter and the Embercleave. Because, fuck them, that's why.
I would literally expect nothing less from you.
Yeah, I bet. I'm looking at Genji Glove in the sideboard again because, you know, 2 combats, double strike.
I think it is interesting how your suite of swords has grown, but it's only like the most degenerate bullshit that you can conceivably think of to be like, you know, there are other equipment. You're like, yeah, but have you seen Sword of Hearth and Home? And have you seen Evercleave? And have you seen Quarry Steel Cutter? And have you seen Buster Sword? And I'm like, yes, Quinn, I've seen all of them because I'm pretty sure you have tried to kill me and or killed me with any combination of those.
Yep, and I'm going to keep doing it.
God damn it.
I've got the Cast from Exile Burn package. We've got Quinn's Insight. We've got Quintorius Canned himself, and then the Passionate Archaeologist, obvious. All of that's going to reward me for casting these spells from Exile or Not My Hand or wherever, and just like doing the damage, getting those life totals down. And then I've got Tanic Steadfast Second in the like special section because this guy just fucking turns all of the things that I'm doing into fucking overdrive. The warp is extremely fucking strong for our game plan.
Yeah,
we get to warp things out for 3, like Ingenuity Engine, which still fucking like. You cast that in Cascade for the full size price, and then it's got the send it to your exile on end step, so you can cast it again from there. You also have the, like, you can airbend things that have been warped and then cast them for 2 and cheat the return to exile from the warp downside. Like, there's a lot of neat moves that you can do that Tanic enables, and it's pretty fucking strong. Probably don't let this guy stick around if anybody casts him. Just don't.
I can't remember if I snagged a copy of this card, and I have a feeling I didn't. I probably got like more of the Another Tanic than this one, but yeah, as we said, Warp is fucked up, and if it shows up in a Modern Horizon set, Magic might as well be basically fucking over. It'll be the most busted shit you've ever fucking seen.
Sky's falling. Warp is in Modern Horizons 4.
Fuck. Hit the button. Hit the emergency button. Holy shit. Yeah. So pretty sick sick equipment decks got here.
Yeah, indeed. It's pretty fucking sick in gameplay. We make a bunch of value, we take a bunch of game actions, and move a bunch of cards in between zones. It's very satisfying for the people who like to touch a lot of cards.
Yep, pretty spooky.
The thing that we did was Warpcast, Trumpet, and Carnosaur, discover into 4 mana Abba, and use that to airbend out the Carnosaur, then recast the Carnosaur, then discover into something else that I don't remember. That felt pretty good. We very consistently find Guild Artisan, and it's one of the best cards in the deck when we're playing the Passionate Archaeologist in the command zone. The treasure ramp is fucking killer, triggers Lulu's Revolt, which is why we were considering putting the Guild Artisan in the command zone and moving Passionate Archaeologist to the 99. We could still find the other card with the same level of consistency because of the way that our cascade curve is shaped, I guess.
I feel as if that, like, the way that you've constructed the deck, and I like you have 2 different versions of it, and I'm not entirely sure which one you have a bit more of a preference for in this case, but I'm thinking that you probably just, you lock in a particular version of this deck where you can swap between both backgrounds as needed, because, like you said, having a win con in the zone can definitely, like, raise alarm bells. I mean, okay, let's be real here. Both backgrounds are going to be raising alarm bells for different reasons, but
Exactly,
one of them is not like you already have part of the win con in your hand ready to go just to fucking just bolt people out of the stratosphere. Like, you can bide your time and adjust as needed, and it can change the speed of the deck because you don't have as readily of an access to it.
Yeah, much to think about there. I do think I like the version with the Stoneblade package more than Cloud and all of them. I am who I am.
Yeah, I know. You like tutoring to make it the most homogenized gameplay experience possible, where you get Cloud to get the Buster Sword.
Yeah, I like knives and I like to see them.
Understandable.
Firebender Ascension, pretty fucking good in this deck. We've got attack triggers. Making more attack triggers is good.
What do you do with the firebending mana?
Honestly, I don't think I do anything with it.
You just get the bodies. You're like, yeah, it's the 2/2. It seems pretty good.
It makes a singular 2/2 that has a, like, the thing that I'm really concerned about is Lulu has the attack trigger granted to her by Guild Artisan.
Oh, right. No, I see your point now. Excuse me. I understand.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Why don't you put in that hybrid removal / extra attack spell in here?
What?
The one that either deals an attacking or blocking creature 5 damage and or gives you extra combat.
Response Resurgence. You're so right. I could actually. Let me think about that. I need to make sure that if it's cast mid combat that I can get the extra combat, because a lot of them are like, if it's a main phase, then you get an extra combat after this phase, and if you cast it during combat,
but that spell, isn't that spell a sorcery anyway?
It is a sorcery, but if I'm like casting it off Buster Sword, there's a cascade that breaks the timing restrictions.
All right.
Yeah. There's a lot that I have to like think about with that, but it is entirely possible that is correct, and I should be doing it. So we're going to look at that.
All right. Well, I have now put that energy out into the world, and now I have to wait and see what consequences come my way.
Indeed. Entirely possible that you don't see this deck again because I've moved on to something else. Who knows?
The impulsivity of the Empress
Quinn.
Quinn.
Printing new cards.
I need to really, like, scientists want to strap Empress Quinn down to a freaking study rack and poke and pick at your brain and be like, what the fuck is going on in there?
Great question.
It's just like, I made that meme about you a few weeks ago where it was like, you didn't know the name of the Outer Wilds because your brain is literally so full of Magic the Gathering and equipment that there's literally no room for anything else. And I'm like, I'm just surprised that, like, for as quickly as you move on to some, like, new deck idea, that you don't just also, like, rapidly eject the entire experience out of your brain and be like, yeah, I don't know, fam. I kind of forgot because in that time span, I've had 20 new decks on my desk, and let me tell you, fam, I am on my bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got the room for the magic stuff.
I'm gonna be taking a look at that meteoric mace again, because I've been thinking about adding it to
I definitely laughed at it when I first saw it, and then was like, well, hang on.
No. Well, yeah. You're like, now wait a minute. Because I recently slotted in Hammer of Nazan into the Imskir list, and I was like,
oh, sick. And then you can cast that and have it auto-equip. That is good.
What if it cascades into Hammer of Nazan?
That is fucking perfect then.
That is pure Magic Christmas Land bullshit. But what if, though? Anyway, no. Meteoric Mace. Come on. What is going on here with that?
Fucking +4/+0 and trample, making Lulu immediately 7 power.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. Having built in, like, I don't know, like, when you're sitting here and we're talking about equipment, and we have been talking about equipment not only in this podcast, but, like, with a bunch of different people all the time. And
so it's really been the year of the knife thanks to Final Fantasy.
It's done a lot of work. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just, like, thinking, like, yeah, not only have we been eating pretty good, but, like, my brain patterns, the neural pathways have been changed forever when it comes to, like, the assessment of equipment. And even when I'm thinking of Meteoric Maze, it's like, okay, if you can flicker, okay, maybe you don't flicker artifacts, but, like, if you can cast it for cheap or cheaper, there's numerous ways you can do that with artifacts. And then if you're able to bypass the equip cost, like, whatever you cascade off of the spell, and then you can just auto-equip to, like, whatever, like, that +4 power and trample, not irrelevant. It's getting you a card. I just think I guess I've been just, like, lowball assessing Meteoric Mace for years, and it's like, no, actually, this thing is, like, pretty solid, and it'll probably be, like, a role player in a bunch of different decks.
Yeah, I think you should give that a try.
Will do. I will get back to you on that. And
what you got for me next?
So speaking of equipment, let's talk about a deck that was on the docket for last episode, but we didn't have the fucking time. So I'm schmooving it over here. Let's talk about, because I haven't talked about him in a while, good old Megatron Tyrant, aka Megatron Destructive Force, because who's casting Megatron Tyrant on the front side? Oh wait, it's actually me. So I got myself the Shattered Glass version, aka the one that's, like, really purpley. So I swapped that out, changed the artwork on Moxfield, looking pretty sick. I forgot how fucked up this, like, every time I sit back down with this deck, and whether it's on stream or not, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this deck? This thing is doing way too much fucking work. It is fucking schmoovin'. I got to cast, and as I mentioned, I cast Megatron on the front side because I realized that the rest of the squad was pulling its weight so much that he would flip back over to the other side, and I get my mana, and I'm like, holy shit, like, this is so fucked up. So I mentioned Duretti Rocketeer Engineer when we were, like, earlier on the episode with Fredo, because we were talking about, like, oh, hey, Duretti's been, like, disabled since his character introduction, and he's been moving, he's been upgrading his equipment, and now he showed up in Aether Drift. This version of him fucks so much. He is so cool. Why is he so good? I felt like I didn't utilize him properly.
I really like this version of Duretti. I love that it is doing basically the same thing, but it's also encouraging people to get in there and fucking do combat instead of playing Factorio with your artifacts.
So good old 5-mana star 5 Goblin Artificer. Power is equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts I control, which checks out, usually caps out at like 5 or 6 or 7, so this is pretty good. Whenever Daretti enters or attacks, choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return the chosen card to the battlefield. So, now, we're now going to get to the portion of this little docket section here where I combined the last time I wanted to talk about it and the time that I wanted to talk about it because I played it again in the last couple weeks afterward. I could have truly had it all in every single game that I've had with it, but something is always fucking getting in my way, or Missy, we left alone for too long, and then she wander-bended us out like crazy. I crashed out so bad, but that's not about that. It's not about this. It's about all the cool shit that I got.
I did my part, but I needed to fucking seal the deal, and I just didn't have the time.
No. Also, I'm like, wait a minute. What the fuck? Why has Bronze Guardian betrayed me, Quinn? What the fuck? Anyway.
Oh, man, that was so sick.
I was like, wait, what do you mean? You're like, yeah, it's got double strike. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's my fucking card. God damn it. So, again, intense mana generating commanders like this, they will continue to show up and show why they're fucked up. Demonic Junker, as usual, is just messing everything up. Just no matter which deck it happens to be in. This is, again, that is definitely going to be a card I'm going to be talking about next episode when we talk about our favorite cards for the year. This thing is showing up in like every single artifact deck I can conceivably think of that happens to be black. It's that good. And I also got to summon Bahamut the last time I played, and I got to I did get to chapter 3 until it exploded. But I still got the card draw effects, so I was like, hey, this is pretty, I'll take that.
All that matters is you got to blow 2 things up and draw some cards. I think that's fine, even if you don't get to Mega Flare.
I mean, I think I did manage to attack with him too, so I was like, okay, we got that there.
Okay, yeah, you got the full use out of that guy then. Even if you never Mega Flare, I think that's fine.
That's, you know, I can accept that. So back to the whole Daretti thing, and I said I wasn't sure. Like, I felt like I wasn't utilizing it as much because I forgot, or I don't know why I forgot or didn't think about it. Because I was thinking of a particular card interaction that got me all mixed up because I overthought about it. So Daretti Rocketeer Engineer with Scrap Trawler. Something that also happens to exist in Imskir, and kind of like a thesis statement of like, if I have these exact same cards in a similar shell across different color combinations or plus minus 1 color or whatever, like, why wouldn't I just like phase one out for the other? And I'm like, no. The end goals of the 2 decks are completely different and different power levels and everything. And the mentality was, I'm like, okay, if I used Daretti to sacrifice something else to trigger both Daretti and Scrap Trawler, like, am I using it effectively? But I just kept forgetting that Daretti is just so fucked up. It doesn't care about the mana value of the stuff that you're bringing back, and probably getting those ETBs is going to be way more relevant than whatever the fuck else I was thinking about. Like, it's by itself, it's so good. If Scrap Trawler triggers, it happens to just be like a good circumstantial tie-in. I was thinking back to like a few of those games where it was like, could I have brought out like Cursed Mirror or like any of the other like small utility stuff and then have it be reset for later? But I don't know, like I'm obviously like overthinking it, but those experiences between like Imskir and with Megatron here with playing Daretti is like completely changed my perspective on it in a 180. Maybe that's why we should be playing these cards more and talking shit less.
I think there's a lot of like people who have played games and been like, oh fuck, I did not use that card to the fullest. Oh, I definitely should have been doing X or Y or Z. Like, there's so many things going on at any point of time in a given Commander game that, like, it's almost a guarantee that there's at least one point where you're like, oh, I could have played better there. Like, you are not the first person and will not be the last.
No. But regardless, where Megatron is right now with all the effects that I got pumped into this thing, I'm feeling pretty good. about all the decisions. Having Bahamut in there feels like winning the lottery when you finally get to play him. And then again, having my whole perspective changed and being like, wait a minute, I can just cast Megatron on the front side for 8 mana, which is a ridiculous thing to think about. Be like, yes, my 6 mana commander with a built-in cost reduction / alternative casting cost thing. Like, why would you do that? But that's how easy it is to get to that crazy, obscene amounts of mana with this list. Shout out to All Fate Scroll, which I would love to just churn floating Megatron mana into activating it and probably drawing quite a chunk of cards with the amount of different lands I got in here.
Yeah, I've been hearing quite a bit about that card. A lot of people are liking that one, and it definitely seems like a solid sink for your Megatron mana.
Yeah. Let's get back over to you for your last deck and or decks here.
All right, just one here. All right, so I already was into these cards from just like their art and the T::God.
Yeah, Elemental God is like pretty good, all things considering.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Erdu, Carrier of Dawn, and Isilu, Carrier of Twilight. I also read the fucking Lorwyn story and have just like...
By the way, okay, I know probably at least next episode we're gonna be getting
Yeah, we'll do a vibes-based storytelling with EQ for Lorwyn.
Yeah, because like what the fuck? But I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just only gonna what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? What like already? What the fuck is happening? But also, what the fuck is going on? Oh my god!
I am like, oh shit, oh man, oh no, whomst? And also, oh, that explains a lot. You're not forgiven, but I do understand.
Deadbeat.
Anyway.
Yes, fucking dad. What the fuck? Yeah.
Vague Lorwyn spoiler posting aside, let's talk about the fucking elemental gods that I've adopted as my grand Blorbo.
Yeah, the one of choice, because I haven't seen shit from this set yet, and I know we're getting previews in another few weeks, but I'm still just like, give it to me!
Yeah, we read the card up at the top, but they're the 5/5 flying lifelink. One half gives your creature spells convoke, the other half gives your non-token creatures persist, and at the beginning of your first main phase, you can pay either the white or the black to transform between the two. So thesis statement for the deck here. We actually started out with a completely different deck. The black-white panda from Atla, we built a Heibai, just like Warzov sacrifice pile from the stuff we drafted in those colors over the course of the past year or so with the like Avatar, the Edge of Eternities, Final Fantasy, either Drift, Dragonstorm, anything that had like black-white sacrifice as a limited archetype. We were looking in there for both sacrifice fodder and signpost uncommons and like thesis enchantments for things to play in those and see what we could do. So we put all of that into a pile under Heibai and achieved success with that build. You actually do just fucking turn that panda sideways and crush people. We playtested the deck with the new Blorbos, Erdu and Isilu. And wow, those are good cards.
Yeah, turns out.
They sure are mythic rares. Or actually, I think they're like, oh yeah.
They are
right,
for sure,
right.
yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. So they've got mythic rare rules text. How we ended up building the deck was just like, I've got a bunch of guys that die and leave behind something, or like enter and draw a card. Just the like shitty little 1 and 2 drop Nezami Link Breaker and Market Gnome and Novice Inspector.
And Beamsaw Prospector and all these other weird little things.
Yeah, just my little like Scrimblows. And we put a bunch of them onto the battlefield and either feed them into a sacrifice outlet or throw them into combat where it's not necessarily good for either of us for them to die. But like, I've got other stuff in the deck that's like, cool, if they die, I get something back at least. So we've got like token generation as well. I'm on the Bitter Blossom and these zombie Bitter Blossom. And we didn't put a Bitter Bloom Bearer in here. Oh, I think that's because this is we built this with cards from MTGO. So of course, like, we don't have the cards that aren't fully legal yet, except for Erdu and Asilu. We like swapped that in. So yeah, we don't have the new fairy that's also Bitter Blossom, but you bet your sweet ass that's going in here too. It simply makes sense. We've got a bunch of cards that want to see creatures enter or die and draw me cards. I have the, like, Gravelighter that enters and draws cards. Halia will gain me a bunch of life, and if I've gained enough life, draw me a card. We've got the Elegy Acolyte to turn my combat damage into card draw. And then all of the, like, whenever non-token creatures dies, draw a card, like 3 mana guys, the Midnight Reaper, the, there's other cards that say that I'm not thinking of right now, but
there's a lot to like, because of like the density of creatures. Like, I'm looking at all this and everything. It's like there's a lot to try to keep track of for this shit. Like, it's tough, pretty dense.
High Society Hunter, my girl.
So cool.
And we've got Blood Artists, so just like a lot of fucking Blood Artists. There's Conrad, there's Vein Ripper, there's the Blood Artist with Mobilize, Venerated Stormsinger, there's the Vindictive Vampire, the like damage Blood Artist. I have an Embalmed Ascendant, who's the max speed Blood Artist. We're just like on almost every version of that effect, and including Blood Artist herself.
I got another question here that's probably interrupting where we're going with this here.
Right.
What would you say is the rate of creatures coming back from your graveyard? Like, are you trying to actively get onto the Isilu side?
We don't super care. Kind of just like, once I've eaten them, and if they come back, then sure. But otherwise, I will omit
a suggestion, and we will move on.
I mean, what you got though?
Well, because again, I've been chatting it up in Laura's Discord. And Soul Innervation came up.
The guys leaving your graveyard to do the Blood Artist effect. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that I have the density for this particular deck for that, but I really want to make Leaves Your Graveyard typo work, so I'm going to keep stockpiling those cards.
I hear ya. I got you, yeah.
I do have Scavenger's Talent, though. That card feels really good. It's mostly a thing that I like pay off having sacrificed a bunch of things, but once I'm in the late game, I do have, like, the tokens that I've generated that I can sacrifice to the third ability here, and we can reanimate a thing with a finality counter on it. We've done that before, and when I'm doing that, I do, like, along the way, have to activate level 2 of Scavenger's Talent, which says whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target player mills 2 cards. I'm milling myself every time with that, so I'm feeding my graveyard, and I've got a Raise the Past in here that reanimates all of my creatures with mana value 2 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield. So, like, we have a smattering of recursion, but the focus is probably just churn through these guys and let's just draw the next guy.
Yeah, I hear. Damn, Raise the Past. What a cool fucking card.
Yeah, I think we're trying that in a standard deck with Zahur and Umbral Collar Zealot and cards like that. I've got Zahur in here, actually. He's one of my non-token creatures dies payoffs. He makes a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token at max speed. And I think that turning all of my guys into bodies that, if I've got the persist active, will return to the battlefield feels pretty good.
I'm also noting that is not the only start your engine card in this deck here.
Yes, we have the one that we mentioned earlier, the Start Your Engines, Blood Artist, and then Zahura. So there's two of those. I think I have a couple of enchantments with it. And if not, then I probably should consider adding those and then the Start Your Engines lands so that I can make sure that I've got consistently a source of Start Your Engines.
Does the speed demon suddenly make the cut?
Oh, fuck. I think yes, because I would appreciate draw in a couple of other ways that aren't just whenever a creature dies, draw a card. Like, those are like, this only works if your deck is working, and I need draw that works unconditionally, which the speed demon can be.
All right, cool. Glad I planted that seed in your brain.
You were right, though. I think that having a couple of other cards with the max speed would be good for this. And Speed Demon is fucking... I love that guy.
All right, perfect.
So yeah, gameplay experiences, Heibai hit like a fucking truck, and Erdu and Asilu are no different, but they've definitely got the Mythic Rare rules text.
Oh, yeah, they fucking do.
5/5 with flying and lifelink. I killed one player with commander damage and then considered, there's probably some bullshit cards here that I can cut and put the, like, cards that I like to kill people with in here. So we're going to do that. I got halfway through a sentence here and have no idea what I was going to finish, but I'd like to add, and then just left there. So I don't know what I would like to add, and I don't think I put that in the notes. Yeah. Well,
we'll get back to that some other time.
Yeah. I was probably talking about card draw, TBH.
Yeah, I think, we've talked about Orzhov decks recently, and when we were talking with Kristen, it's like there's just kind of like it's the first pass, right? Like the commander creatures you got, or I say creatures because they're double faced, but like you don't have the card draw in the zone. So now it's like, okay, what do you do to kind of shore that up in other ways? And you'll eventually, I think you'll find like the right tools for that. And hopefully maybe you've just put a few, like, how many Harvester of Soul, High Society Hunter variants of creatures can you put in that without reaching a critical mass where you're putting your own life total at risk? Yeah,
there's a lot of those type of creatures, but then I also have to have the slots that are the things that I'm sacrificing to them, and that's the fucking Orzhov deck problem.
Yep. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll figure that out.
We'll find that balance. Just gotta get more reps in, and they gotta print this card so that I can play it on MTGO.
All right, and just remember, you're on the clock apparently, because while you ask us to get these decks on your desk in 2 weeks, you're going to be like, I'll be abandoning this whole deck in 2 weeks, so we better get it going. We're in the early preview season, right, of Lorwyn, and I know that there is a lot of anticipation for the set. For a multitude of reasons. I am not a Magic old head, so I'm quote unquote an old head, but I'm not that much of an old head. So I wasn't there for Lorwyn to begin with. I don't really have any personally high expectations for it. But I also don't fault anyone for getting excited over it, because I'm like, they really got to bring it home. But that being said,
I'm not a Magic old head, but I do like fairies, and Lorwyn is the plane of the fairies.
But yeah, the only thing I do got to say in this case is like, if you already have latched onto a Blorbo already being previewed, I better hope that you're curbing your expectations in case they throw another haymaker your way. Because if they do, oh boy, you're going to be like, no, but I've already chosen one. Why are you doing this to me?
You've seen Ashling. Like, I very clearly have
I know.
hands.
No, I know. I get that. But then what if they put another one, Quinn? What, are you going to suddenly sprout a mutant hand? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh. Anyway. I'm nothing really, like, making Firelord Zuko is more like a contractual obligation, and I still need to get my reps in to make sure that I'm actually, like, enjoying the gameplay experience. But I do anticipate that there's going to be a legend that catches my eye in this set, and we already have the Boros student showing up, but I don't necessarily think they fit what I'm looking for. So I'm hoping that if they do whatever giant representation as part of the plane, that will be the one that catches my interest. I'll be like, yeah, I'll make a deck around that. But until then, I'm only looking at Lorwyn through the lens of like I'm adding stuff to the 99 as usual.
I would like to see some giant cards from Lorwyn, so get that on my desk in 2 weeks. And also, if Erdu and Asilu are like the black-white sacrifice-coded mythics, then I'm sure there will be plenty of draft commons and uncommons. And
I do find it funny
like
that you're like, get it on my desk in 2 weeks, and it's like, it's in 3 weeks, babes. Gotta wait till the 5th until previews start.
Fine.
So yeah. I like that. Still, that being said, despite all the shit that I give Orzhov decks recently, I do like what you're doing here. I like the theme. Get the speed demon and that all other stuff in, and I think you could be really schmoovin' with it.
Yeah, we'll definitely give that a shot and get back to you. I gotta fucking finish this Avatar The Last Airbender draft on MTGO before we can play more Commander, though.
Gotcha. All right. One of my last decks for this episode, the last deck of the episode, I have pulled Anti-Flash, the Veteran Curses off the shelf for the first time in a few months. Holy shit, I forgot what this deck can do. And the reason, and I was validated for my inclusion of Elevere of the Wild Court.
She is the girl.
She is doing way too fucking much for that rate, but let's just go over some of the deck updates, because I had added three summons from Final Fantasy, because they're enchantments. It's an Enchantress deck. Did not get to see them since their addition. That being Summon Titan, Fenrir, and Esper Valagramanda, that happens to fit really well, even in a brew like this. Elevere's the first time I got her out, and holy shit, I am shocked at how good those Virtuous Roll tokens are.
Yeah, there's a reason she's a CEDH Stacks commander.
Yeah. That line of text of getting fucking all that glitters, more or less.
I love to put all the glitters on my Drannith Magistrate.
Yeah, pretty gross. But again, with her just carrying most of it, and then of course the board wipe happening, and me being like, hey, look at that, any flash has got flash, I can do her at any time. Did way too much, just between like Elevere and a handful of other creatures. I really do got a shout out for the absolutely unnecessary finishing shot from Longshot Rebel Bowman.
Oh my gosh.
Found a home for this thing finally. 3 and a red for a 3/3 human rebel ally with reach. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, which is a pretty decent chunk of the deck. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Longshot deals 2 damage to each opponent. So it's been great getting an addition where I can get my quote-unquote all that glitters effects on a reach creature for defensive purposes, turn it sideways if I really need to, have another way to ramp in a deck that doesn't need non-green to do it, but by God, I'm going to add it anyway, because nothing is cooler than like casting Aloran Searing Life for 3, or Cosmic Rebirth for 2, or Take the Bait for 3, or Curse of Bloodletting, or Shadow in the Warp, or all this other shit. I got Hot Pursuit to fucking work. What the fuck? That was so cool. Yeah. I've always kind of had, like, when I was really obsessed with the deck, when I first made it, And I still look back at it fondly. I think like I've managed to find a good balance of like various different effects between like, okay, it's an Enchantress deck because I went down in curse count because I think one of them wasn't really working out for me. But oh my god, Curse of Shaken Faith did way too much in that game against Mike. Did a lot of work.
Yeah, if you're looking to take a lot of game actions, that deck will, or not deck, but that particular card will tell you to sit the fuck down and do not take as many game actions.
I love how he was like, "Oh, why did you put it on Quinn, Cole?" I'm like, "Well, I hear you, I see you, but also you're also at like single digits, so I think you might want to shut the fuck up." When we got to the end of that game, I did have an overwhelming splendor in hand, so I was kind of waiting for someone to be like, "Cool, we're on the 1v1." I'm like, "Cool, overwhelming splendor, you." Like, fuck.
Sounds like you never didn't have it.
Yeah, this deck's at a good place. Glad where it's at. I think I need to look at Edge of Eternity again. Edge of Eternity, excuse me, for that land that says you can tap like a creature or an artifact or something to pay to make like whatever other mana. So I have another way to tap anti-flash outside of combat for the exile stuff. I don't know, just something that I remember. I'm like, oh wait, command bridge. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
That's a one-time thing though.
Oh shit. Maybe I was thinking of something else. I don't fucking know. Changed my mind. Never mind. Abandon the thought. I thought it was like
great.
No, I thought it was like Holdout Settlement and Survivor's Encampment and Scene of the Crime.
Yeah, those actually seem good.
And they are in this deck, so there you go. All right, well, I stand corrected. Never mind. All right, we are still on the clock, but of course we're at a 2-hour episode, go figure. Let's get to the soapbox that you had cooking.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, lay it on me. Hit paste. Oh, whoa. What is going on here?
This is actually fine. It's quite a bit shorter than my other soapboxes because I spent a bunch of time getting fully twisted in knots trying to figure out how to deliver this from a more educational point of view with a history lesson and shit, and honestly, kind of didn't deserve all that. I kind of just have a salty rant, so we're just gonna do that.
Okay, all right. Here we go.
All right, so I have beef with gamers who want to act like there's a distinction between stacks cards and tax cards that absolves them of responsibility for the experience that they're creating.
Am I involved in this?
You are not involved with this because you don't try to be like, actually, it's not a stacks piece, it's a tax piece.
Okay, whew. My sins are being judged for different reasons.
You can play stacks cards. I just want you to own up for the experience that you're creating is the thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of people like to be like, well, it's not as bad as it could be, which means I'm a perfect angel and I'm doing no wrong. And
I'm a small uwu bean.
So there's a couple of things that brought this up. I posted a bunch of hateful Rakdos cards on the internet that I play across a couple of decks to counteract effects that tilt me, and somebody in the comments was like, oh, okay, so Rakdos stacks, assuming that all of the cards were in the same deck. And while we were not suggesting a Rakdos stacks deck, these were spread across multiple decks, they all could be considered stacks pieces, like they're not wrong. And so the other thing was one too many gamers did the thing that we talked about up there and was like, well, would you rather your spells cost a lot more or not get to untap lands? And I'm just like, mate, that is not a meaningful distinction to your opponents. Your opponents feel staxed either way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So my core thing here is we define decks by what they do. If I say I'm gonna get my own ass here.
All right.
If you're saying you're playing an artifact reanimator deck, but what you actually do with your robust self-mill and recursion package is reanimate a chromatic orrery and an untapper, maybe just say you're an artifact combo deck from the jump.
You've done this?
I am getting my own ass with my Esper Artifact Reanimator deck with Glacian and Ravos that at the very beginning of that deck had a Chromatic Orrery and the guys that you can spend 2 and a blue to untap target artifact. That with Chromatic Orrery obvious generates infinite mana, and then you can activate the Orrery infinite number of times to draw the rest of your deck. And we were able to do that pretty consistently because the whole deck was putting things in our graveyard and then taking them out of the graveyard. So I've got a robust recursion and card advantage package in that. And so it ended up, instead of being this is my Mirrored and Besieged roleplay deck, this is actually just a combo deck that finds that, and then the outlet is cards that say Mirror on them, which is it's fucking whack.
Yeah.
So we cut that package and returned to the pure path of Artifact Reanimator. Other experiences like this one's not so much mine because I don't label the decks as such, but if gamers are saying they're playing a Spellslinger deck, but all the spells that they're slinging are Doomblades, I probably would have liked to known that going in and maybe call it a Spellslinger control deck instead of just Spellslinger.
Yeah. That one I might be a little marginally guilty of, but I am the type of person to just run Doomblade adjacent shit anyway.
This fucking guy playing Doomblade Typal.
At least I begrudgingly admit they're control decks, but anyway, moving on.
Yeah, you did actually admit that I think Shay McCormick was Killspell Typal.
That is actually 100% true. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that one.
So along these lines, if you are playing, I want gamers to not fucking come up to me and say they're playing a +1/+1 counters deck and then find out that the things you're putting +1/+1 counters on are Esper Sentinel, Dranith Magistrate, Thalia. Just say you're playing a stacks deck. It's fine. If you're playing a pile of cards where a significant quantity of them have the rules text that proactively limits player agency, you're playing a stacks deck, and you can just say that.
It's okay. It's all right if you do that.
Yeah, these are decks that are designed to proactively limit player agency, and even at the fucking dawn of time when dinosaurs roamed the earth and stacks was still a recursive acronym for stacks the $4,000 solution, they all referred to their agency limiting effects as tax cards, even ones that pedants to this day would nod and agree are stacks pieces. So it kind of means there's no meaningful fucking distinction, and all that really matters is, do your opponents feel like they are having their agency limited to a sufficient degree? The answer to that is yes. Probably stacks them out, babes.
How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel, listener? Because you're guilty. You're being judged right now.
Anyway, so here's some ways that you can limit player agency. White is the traditional stacks color.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. What the fuck is this?
Some things to look out for. Some agency limiting effects that you can refer to as stacks pieces.
Okay, continue.
We're not going to list them out for white mana because that's the original stacks color. They got all of them. You know them. Rule of law. Blue actually had the first rule of law effect in Arcane Laboratory, and it's the same fucking concept though. They limit your agency. You can only cast one spell a turn, one that I, as the blue mage, should be prepared to interact with. Then I cast a spell on your turn. We break parity on that. Other blue stacks pieces are Mana Breach and Overburden, both effects that are whenever you either cast a spell or play a creature, some shit like that, you have to return something to your hand. I think a land in these cases. And it's just like you have to decide between advancing your game plan with your creatures or advancing your game plan with your like mana development, but you're not going to get to
Do
have
both. Yeah.
Similarly, you can limit people's agency in the same sort of way in Black with effects like Tainted Ether, which says if a creature enters, you gotta sacrifice a creature or a land. And like that's the same sort of like you can't get ahead on board without a great degree of sacrifice. And fuck tokens in particular, all that shit is banned. Contamination is another one of these sort of agency limiting effects.
Fuck that fucking card.
Yeah, you just like you tell your opponents that you can't cast spells of your colors that'll ruin my game plan because I've corrupted your ley lines and made it so that you can only draw black mana instead. Other black stacks piece is oppression, where you cast a spell, you have to discard a card. This limits your agency in that you don't have as many cards as you thought you were going to have.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah, they're all effects that limit your agency. In red, you have effects like Price of Glory and Stranglehold, both of which kind of, well, I guess they're sort of different in the way that they're approaching that. But Price of Glory is like if you're tapping a land for mana, if it's not your turn, then that land is getting destroyed. So you kind of should
be
probably
patient.
just shut the fuck up when
You
it's
gotta
not
be
your
patient.
turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, you have to play at sorcery speed if you don't want to make a great deal of sacrifice. The other effect here is Stranglehold, which says players can't take extra turns and they can't search their libraries. Your agency is limited in that if you thought you were going to be able to, like, search your library with your cultivate or your fetch lands or any of that, or your fucking demonic tutor to find the spell that you need or fix your colors perfectly, you don't get to do that. And you're definitely not taking any extra turns.
Yep. You are going to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. You're gonna be a normal human being.
Last one is a little controversial, but in green, Lurking Predators is a stacks piece. You cannot while out with spells without handing the Lurking Predators player a very large board that if you don't win right then, they are probably going to fucking kill you with. So you have to make a very careful consideration of, am I going to just to give them this board? Perhaps I am not going to cast more than one spell this turn because they're going to outpace anything that I'm doing with their 7 mana mythic rares or whatever. Like,
whatever bullshit green mythic they're throwing out on the battlefield. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah.
You think you're going to get set up and cast an opt or something and then cast another spell? Like, they're putting a fucking Carnage Tyrant and Questing Beast onto the battlefield. Like, fuck you.
You know, I feel like we've both experienced this recently. I feel like we've had firsthand experiences with this, but, you know, I just can't quite place... I can't place the particular game.
Yeah. Been there. So yeah, these are all effects that maybe aren't traditionally considered stacks pieces, but I do think accomplish the same level of agency limitation, and you can comfortably refer to them as stacks pieces. And maybe you should treat them like that.
Yeah, we've talked about how I am a control mage and some of my weird fixations on like Kona Cold, Sleep, Frost Titan. And that is a form of agency denial. But when you think about like the entire spectrum of the spectrum of like how severe is this effect and how does it affect people? And what is your density of those effects? Really does affect like the experience of like what you're bringing to the table for other people. But when you're also being disingenuous about it, like why?
Even fucking worse.
Why do you need to do that? What compels you to do that? When I sit down and I say I'm going to play my Hilda of the Icy Crown deck, or this is the one with Frost Titan, or Githzerai monks or like whatever like light version of the effect. I'm not being disingenuous when I'm saying that like my idea is to control you after you get your creatures out, so that way you still get like you get your ETB or cast triggers or whatever. And at least, you know, as much as it's frustrating to be on the receiving end of someone being like, this is a mono blue 50% counterspells deck, and I'm like, I am going to hunt you down like an animal. Why would you do this? You know, like there's at least the genuine honesty of these people being like, yes, this is what the deck is about, and would you like to play against that or whatever. I guess it kind of goes back into tying into Cass's article from earlier, where she's talking about like swapping your decks around for the play experience. If you're able to not just present like the bracket that your deck or your strategy, like the one you're looking to play at, while also not obfuscating what you're looking to do with the deck, including like whether or not, well, is it a stacks piece or not? Tee-hee, I'm an uwu bean. Like, no, like, just be honest. Like, I just think that like when you think about like the heavier, more stacks ridden a deck can be, I would expect that shit to be played at like bracket 4 or something. Like that requires a level of patience and understanding, and just, you know, actually just like talking about it, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna play fucking Grand Arbiter Augustine the Fourth, or Mr. Fuckface, or whatever he is. Like, you know, there was a Magic the Gathering parody short that I saw, and I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. But he's in a therapy session, like he's talking about the experiences that he's having with his play group, and how bad it is, like how bad he's experiencing it. And then the therapist is asking him, like, oh, how does that make you feel? And all this other stuff, right? And then it's like, so what's the next deck you're bringing to the pot? And he's like, Grand Arbiter Augustine the Fourth. And it's like, whoa, that's like that's an overcorrection for that scenario. But it's like, if you're going to play these effects, have an understanding that by you are choosing to inflict this experience on other people who might not want to play with the deck only board wipes Brandon. Is it okay if I play my Nivinarol board wipes only super chill casual deck? No.
Fucking game 1, bitch.
Yeah, like afterward I'm expecting better from you. Like, you know. Yeah, it's just in a zero-sum environment, that the only thing that you're really getting out of it is the camaraderie and friendship and shared gameplay experiences with other people. Why would you want to like be a troll about it? You know, be better.
100%. That's the fucking message. Be better.
So yeah, I dig this one. I think this is a pretty good one.
Hell yeah! Thank you.
I'm glad you managed to bring it around to educate people after you were like, this is a bunch of fucking bullshit, semantics, don't fucking come at me with that. Anyway, rule of law, fuck you. So yeah. Hey, can you, can you share me that post with that Hateful Rakdos card stack? I just want to be curious.
I think I still have that, yeah. We can find that.
All right. Well, that all being said, since that's the soapbox for this episode, I think that's a good place to end it. Quinn, where can we be found?
We are on the internet at HBVC-MTG collectively. I'm at Girldick Energy. He is at the Bledrick Guy. And we be hanging out on MTG Lexicon, streaming Magic the Gathering on Saturday evenings, so come check us out over there. We've also got the MTG Lexicon Discord, where we be hanging out, so if you are a poster, come through.
We may get a bit more foot traffic through there, including random bots that bypass their security, but that's a whole other thing. Like we said at the beginning of the episode, we're going to take it easy for mostly the rest of the calendar year. as we're running into the holidays, and then we're going to hopefully have a guest by the next time we come in around the checks notes. We'll have an episode out on New Year's, and that will be some of our year-end stuff, including a review. Then we'll get another one out on the 8th, which will hopefully by then will be a guest. We'll keep that a surprise for now, and then we'll let you know what's going on. And as usual, please share episodes and use some word of mouth. We do love chatting it up with people, chatting up decks and cards and strategies, and if Commander passes the vibe check, because we just love that interaction.
Hell yeah.
All right, everyone. That's it. We'll see you on the next one.
Later, gamers.